Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing for more crochet tutorials. My name is Dee and today I'll be showing you how I made this top. It's a size large, but you can adjust it to any other size you want to make it in. You just need to take your own measurements, measuring from one shoulder to the other as I'll be showing you. And this is how it looks on me, so let's get started, guys. For the yarn, I'm going to be using Red Hat Super Saver Jumbo Stripes. This is a size 4 yarn and it's 100% acrylic. For the hook, I'll be using a 5.50mm hook, which is an I9 hook. Then you're going to need a tape measure, a darning needle, and some pair of scissors. All right, so you're going to make a slip knot. And then you're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th chain, you're going to make a double crochet. So right here, make 1 double crochet. Do you have this? And you're going to chain 3, yarn over, and into this loop you're going to insert your hook and make a double crochet. Now you have this second loop here, chain 3, yarn over, and into this loop you're going to make a double crochet, and you're going to repeat like that. I'm going to repeat that until I have a total of 20 loops, and I'll be back to show you guys how long it is. And then if you want it longer, then if you want your top to be longer, you're gonna make more loops, because this is going to be the length of our top, like from your shoulder to where it is going to stop. So chain 3, yarn over, and make a double crochet into that loop you made previously, and continue like that. I'm done making my loops, and this is what I have. I'm going to show you guys with my tape measure how long it is after I make a few rows, because it won't stay still. So I have my 20 loops, and this is how long my top is going to be. So after your 20 loops, you're going to chain 3, you're going to chain 3, and this chain 3 is going to work as your first double crochet. And then you're going to yarn over, and into this first loop that we have here, you're going to place there a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in that same space, and there you have 1 double crochet. You have this chain as your double crochet, and then into the loop you have 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over, and into the next loop you're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same loop. Then yarn over, insert your hook into the next loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then chain 1, yarn over, insert your hook. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and that's what you're going to repeat until you get to the end of the row. All right, I'm now working in my last loop, making my last V-stitch. So to complete the row, you're going to yarn over, and into this chain, this is the first chain that we made, okay? You're going to place there a double crochet, and that is how you complete the first row. You'll have something like that. Row 2, chain 3 and turn your work. Then you're going to yarn over, and into this first chain 1 space or the V space, you're going to insert your hook and make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same space. Yarn over, skip 2 double crochets, and into the chain 1 space, make a V stitch. Yarn over, make a V stitch into the next chain 1 space. A V stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all in the same space. I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the end of the row. I'm working towards the end. This is my last V stitch. And to complete the row, I'm going to yarn over and place a double crochet right on top of the chain. Just always remember to start with a double crochet and end with a double crochet. Here we've ended with a double crochet, and here we started with a chain, which counts as a double crochet. So for row 3, we're going to repeat row 2. Chain 3, turn your work. Then you're going to make a V stitch in the next chain 1 space. Make a V stitch in the next chain 1 space. Oops. Make a V stitch into the next chain 1 space, and you're going to repeat that until you get to the end of the row. Alright, this is my last V stitch, and to complete the row, I'm going to place a double crochet on top of the chain 3. And there you have it. So I'm going to show you guys how long it is, and this is about 14 inches. So that is how long my top is. From the shoulders to where it stops is going to be 14 inches long. So if you want yours longer, make sure that your foundation row, which is these loops that we started with, you're going to make them longer than that. So they can be, it can be maybe 20 inches, 16, whatever you want. So you're going to repeat those 2 rows until you have enough length of your top, from measuring from one shoulder to the other, and then I'll be back, guys, and then you're going to make another identical piece, but it's going to be shorter or longer depending on which side you start with. The front panel, the front part is going to be slightly longer than the back piece, and that's because of that fold that we're going to have in the middle of the top. So I'll go ahead and make both pieces, and then I'll be back and show you guys what to do next. I'm back, and I have made a total of 40 rows for my back panel, and it measures 20.5 inches. That's how wide it is. And then the front panel is about 23 inches wide, and I made a total of 45 rows for the front panel. So what we're going to do next is make the twist. What you're going to do is place the front piece on top of the back piece. The back piece is the shortest one, and the longest one is of course the front panel. And what we're going to do is hold this one corner and cross it over to the top while crossing the top one over to the bottom. I hope that makes sense, but you can clearly see in the video. So that is how we are making the twist. So you're going to align them very well and make sure that everything is in place. Next, we're going to mark the shoulders. So get your stitch markers and mark where you want the shoulders to stop. Then later we're going to mark the armholes as well. Alright guys, I went ahead and marked where I want the shoulders seam to be. And what I did was count the rows. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I marked this 13th row on both sides. And then I placed my stitch marker, and I did the same thing with this side as well. So the next thing we're gonna do is get our yarn and join it together. But before that, make sure that your head can pass through the space that you have left for the head right here in the middle. Okay, and in case you want to know the inches, it's about 7 inches. 7 inches on both sides. So this, what is facing me right now is the right side. So I'm going to flip it like so, and then I'm going to join. And how are you able to tell the right side? I tell by the first row. The first row is facing on this side, so that's why I'm taking this as my right side. So we're going to join with the single crochet stitch, but you can use any other stitch you want. I'm going to start from this point. All right, I'm going to make a slip knot. Then with my hook, I'm going to join this until I get to the stitch marker. So I'm going to insert my hook right in these loops, right here. Let's see. So I've inserted my hook in these first loops that we started with. I'm going to use the single crochet stitch and join all the way to the stitch marker. So chain 1, back in that same space, single crochet, single crochet into the next side row or row. Again in that same space, make a single crochet, then into the next you're going to make 1 single crochet, into the next. Make sure you go through both sides or both panels. That's 2. So here I'm going to do 1. So I'm alternating between the 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet. Make sure you align your work so that you go through both rows at the same time. When you get to the stitch marker, you're going to take it out, remove the stitch marker, place there 2 single crochets, and then in that same space you're going to make a slip stitch, then chain 1, get your scissors and cut the yarn, leaving a long tail that I can weave in. And this is what I have. That's the wrong side and this is the right side. So you're going to do the same thing on this other side. Make a slip knot and insert your hook right in this last stitch right there, and in the last chain of the other side. Then you're going to attach the yarn. Going to go over these strands. Chain one. In that same space, make a single crochet. Okay, in the next space, make 2 single crochets, then 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets. When you get to this point, take the stitch marker out and make your last 2 single crochets in that space. Then again in that same space you're going to slip stitch, chain 1, cut off the yarn. Alright, so there you have it. So we have now joined the 2 sides together. It's not so neat because of the, the different colors. So next we're going to work on the sleeves. So align it again very well and mark where you want the sleeves to stop. So as you can see, this side we have these loops, and on this side we don't have the loops, right? So it doesn't matter, just mark where you want the sleeves to stop, and then we're going to start joining. So I'm going to mark 7 inches here as well for my sleeve. 7 inches stops here for me. I'm going to place there a stitch marker, but before joining I'm going to make sure that I count and have the same V stitches on both sides. So let's see, I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I have 10 V stitches on this side, and let me count 10 V stitches on this side as well. So I'll start with this one. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So I have 10 V stitches on both sides, both panels. I'll start joining from this point going downwards. Then I'm going to count the same V stitches on this side as well, starting with this loop. So you count the loops: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, so you put the stitch marker right here and count 10 V stitches on this side as well. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So we mark on the 11th one. All right, remember you have to join from where you have the shoulder seam, because you don't want this the seam to be on the right side. All right, for this part as well I'm going to use single crochet. So I'll make a slip knot, going to attach my yarn and start joining. Here I have put one single crochet. So into the next space I'm going to put 2 single crochets. Then the next gets 2 single crochets. So I'm now going to take out my stitch marker and into this same space I'm going to make a slip stitch and then chain 1, cut, now we're going to join this other side. So make a slip knot, attach your yarn, I'm going to work over these strands, chain 1, and in that same space go back with a single crochet. Next we're going to be working in the chain 1 spaces, in the V stitches. So into the next V stitch make 1 single crochet, but then we have these gaps here. So here I have placed 1 single crochet, so into this gap I'm going to make 1 single crochet again, and then into the next V space I'm going to make 2 single crochets. Okay, then the gap gets 1 single crochet, then the V's gets 2 single crochets. So I'm going to end with a slip stitch, then chain 1, cut, then pull tight, and there you have it. Alright, now try it on and see how it fits, and see if you like how it fits, or if you need to make any changes before we work on the sleeves. To get started on the sleeve, you're going to make a slip knot, then you're going to insert your hook right where we started to join the sleeves from. You're going to go through both sides at the same time and then pull up a loop. So we've turned that into 1 space. Then you're going to chain up 4, then in that same space you're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, then double crochet again into that same space, and you'll have this: a chain 4 and a double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet, all in the same space. In the next one you're going to make 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all in the same space. So in total you have 3 double crochets into the same space, separated by chain 1. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same space, chain 1, double crochet again into that same space, and you're going to repeat that until you get back to the end of the round. When you get to the end of the round, you're going to slip stitch on top of that first chain that we made, and then into that same space you're going to make a slip stitch and then chain 4. In that same space make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet again in that same space. yarn over into the next chain 1 space. You're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in the same space, and you're going to keep repeating that for this second row as well. So what we're doing here is making an increase for the second row of the sleeve, and you're going to keep doing that until you get back to the end. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch on top of the chain to complete the row. And then into that first space, you're going to slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 4. You're going to yarn over, and into that same space, you're going to make a double crochet. Yarn over into the next chain 1 space, make a V-stitch. Yarn over into the next chain 1 space, so skip these 2 and make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same space. And for this row, that's all we're going to continue making. 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the same space, and you're going to repeat that until you get back to the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch on top of the chain to join. So slip stitch, and into that next space you're going to slip stitch again, then chain 4, which counts as a double crochet, and a chain 1, then make a double crochet into that same space. Yarn over, and into the next V space you're going to make a V stitch. Yarn over, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same space. So every V stitch from the previous row is getting a V stitch for this 4th row. So this is going to be our last row for the ruffles of the sleeves. And we have made 2 rows of increase and 2 rows of normal V stitches. So repeat that until you get to the end. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch right on top of the chain, like that. Chain 1, get your scissors and cut off the yarn, and leave a long tail that you can weave in later. And this is how your sleeve is going to look. Once you're done with your one sleeve, you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to reattach your yarn on the other side of the sleeve, but this time you're going to insert your hook right in the V stitches. That's what you're going to work into. Make 2 rows of increase and 2 rows of no increase, and then you should be done. Just the same thing we just did on the other sleeve. All right. The next thing we're going to do is work a few rows for this bottom part of the top. But before we do that, you're going to try your top on, like put it on and see how much coverage you want around this area. Okay, because I tried it on and my bra was showing, so I'm adding these extra rows, and it should be able to cover that part in case you want it covered. If you want it to be showing, that's still okay. So you're going to get your yarn, and you're going to make a slip knot. And then you're going to make a chain of 4. Then yarn over, and you're going to insert your hook in the first chain, so skip 3 and into the 4th, make a double crochet, chain 3, yarn over, double crochet into the previous loop, chain 3, yarn over and make a double crochet into the loop that you created previously, and you're going to repeat that until you have a total of 30 loops. Alright guys, so I have made my 30 loops here. It's a bit long, and the reason why it's long is because I want to be able to cross it over to the back and tie a knot. So we're going to attach this to the front panel depending on how much space you want to leave open at the very bottom of your breasts. So you're going to attach this. I'm going to attach this right on this purple color. So what you can do is try it on and see how much space you want to leave out, and press there a stitch marker and then continue with this next step. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook, and make a double crochet in that space like so, chain 1, back in that same space, make a double crochet. So there we have made our first V. Then yarn over, and you're going to skip this next row, and into the next you're going to make a V stitch like that. Yarn over, skip the next row, and into the next make a V stitch, and you're going to repeat with that until you get to the end of the row. So when you get here to the seam line where we joined from, you're not going to skip this next one, so you're going to place there a V stitch because the gap would be too big. Then next you're going to skip this one, and into the next make a V stitch. So you're going to repeat that, and you're going to do the same thing on the other seam, and then I'll meet you at the front part of our top. Okay, I'm now back to the front, and as you can see here I have nothing to skip, and I skipped at the beginning of this side, for this side of the top, but it doesn't make much of a difference, so I'm still going to place there a V stitch, chain 1, double crochet. So next I'm going to make this chain that I started with, so I'm simply going to make a chain of 4, we chain 3, then yarn over, and I'm going to insert my hook right through these 2 loops like so, and make a double crochet, then chain 3, and into this loop I just created I'm going to make a double crochet, and I'm going to continue like that until I have a total of 30 loops or 30 chains, just like I did on the other side. So this is 1, 2, 3. I'll keep going until I have a total of 30, and then I'll meet you back guys to show you what to do next. Alright, I now have a total of 30 loops on this side as well. So we're now going to work another row of V-stitch around it and back to this side as well. And to do that we're going to chain up 3, turn the chain. We're going to be working over the chains that we just made and not the double crochets. So you're going to yarn over, and into this first loop you're going to make a V-stitch. Okay, you should have this. Yarn over into the next loop, make a V-stitch, make a V-stitch into the next loop, and you're going to continue like that. When you get here you're obviously going to work into the chain 1 spaces, and when you get back to this loop we're going to work over the chains just like what we're doing here. So go ahead and work all the way to the end, and yeah, we're going to fasten off after that. Or you can make another row if you want a thicker band, no problem. So I'll go ahead, actually I might make 3, so I'll go ahead and repeat that. Here I'm at the end of the row, and I'm going to place the last stitch on top of that chain, and this is what you should have for the next row. You're going to chain 3 and turn your work, and into the next V-stitch you're going to make a V-stitch. So you're going to continue making a V-stitch in the previous V-stitch. So insert your hook, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same space, and you're going to repeat that until you get to the end of the row. Chain 3, turn your work, and you're going to repeat that row for the 3rd time, and then cut the yarn and weave in all your ends, and then you can try on your top and see how beautiful it looks on you. And that's all I had for today, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Remember to subscribe. Bye bye.